topic, we will let you know and understand the denominations of Bitcoin and their relation to one another. For example, millibit, Satoshi. We will explain the difference between Bitcoin, capitalized B, and Bitcoin. Recognize other commonly used symbols referring to Bitcoin as a digital currency. For the Bitcoin community, start with uppercase B generally refers to the entire Bitcoin system technology and network protocols and ecology, while Bitcoin with the lowercase b only represents the currency unit of Bitcoin. The Satoshi is the smallest unit that is recorded on the Bitcoin blockchains. One Satoshi represents a decimal, 7 zeros and a 1. It is 100 millionth of a single Bitcoin. The unit has been named in collective homage to the original creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. All amounts in the blockchain are denominated in Satoshi before being converted for display. The source code also uses Satoshi when specifying an amount of Bitcoin. When displaying an extremely fine fraction of a Bitcoin, such as when calculating fee per byte or a faucet reward, the amount is displayed in Satoshi for readability. The value of a Bitcoin in Satoshi was decided by Satoshi Nakamoto to be 100 million no later than November 2008. Traditionally, the plural form has been simply Satoshi, but the term Satoshis is also popular and equally correct. If the plural form were to follow the rules of Japanese grammar, it may be pronounced as Satoshia or simply Satoshi. Satoshi is often abbreviated to SAT or S. Although no currency symbol has been widely adopted. There are several currency symbols here. Do you know which currency symbol is used by Bitcoin? By far the most commonly used symbol for Bitcoin is a capital letter B with two falling strokes at the top and bottom. This symbol was designed by Satoshi Nakamoto for the icon of an early version of the original Bitcoin client. Though the very first versions of the Bitcoin client used BC instead of any special symbol. Presumably, the symbol was intended to look similar to other currency symbols. The symbol represents the currency unit Bitcoin, 100 million Satoshi, as well as the Bitcoin network and currency itself. The Bitcoin currency unit is also commonly given the informal currency code BTC. Therefore, only the fourth in the above illustration is wrong. Historically, similar looking Unicode symbols such as the Thai baht have been used because the Unicode standard at the time had not included a symbol for Bitcoin. The third symbol, capital letter B with a stroke, was also used in contexts where it was likely that using the baht symbol would cause confusion. Bitcoin sign is part of Unicode 10.0, released June 2017, with code point U+20BF. As of June 2017, font support for the Bitcoin sign is in the Mac OS, Sierra, iOS, Android O Beta, Windows 10 Creators Update, and several Linux releases. After being rejected in 2011, the Bitcoin sign was accepted for Unicode in November 2015 and first appeared in Unicode 10.0 in 2017. The ISO 4217 currency code for Bitcoin is XBT. However, at the moment, it is an unofficial code according to the ISO 4217 standard. The unit name BTC is also commonly used to represent 1 Bitcoin, but it violates ISO 4217 because it begins with BT, the country code of Bhutan. Bhutan does not actually use the code BTC for any currency, and XBT has not yet defined which unit it represents, just that it represents some unit of Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin community is likely to continue using mainly BTC as a unit name and currency code for some time. Earlier, we explained that the basic units of Bitcoin are BTC and Satoshi. But do you have a gut feeling for numbers denominated in Bitcoin? Many people don't. How much is a burger? How much is a cup of coffee? How much is a new iPhone? Obviously, these numbers change all the time with the price of Bitcoin. But that's only one part of what makes thinking in Bitcoin so damn difficult. We use the burger, the food which is most commonly used to estimate the index price in everywhere, as an example of thinking. A hamburger currently costs about 0.00044 Bitcoin. 0000. What? How many totally? Our brains usually treat a decimal point like the end of a sentence. What's after the decimal point gets disregarded, making managers of the fast food restaurant have known this for ages. And that's why a hamburger usually costs $2.99 instead of $3. If you want to pay for your hamburger in Bitcoin, which no one in their sane mind does, here's the fun you're getting yourself into. Bitcoin's intermediate units are most commonly represented by a decimal index, such as Bitcoin, millibitcoin, and microbitcoin. The BTC unit was chosen to represent a value of 10 to the 8th power so as to give subunits precision rather than large whole numbers. Mirroring the standard, this allows for divisions of 1/10 decibitcoins, DBTC, 100 centibitcoins, CBDC, 1,000 millibitcoins, MBTC, and 1,000,000 microbitcoins. Another common unit is called bits. Many have adopted the practice of referring to the microbitcoin metric subunit as bits. After introducing the units used by Bitcoin, have you ever wondered why did the creators of Bitcoin on Earth first make 1 Bitcoin equal to 100 million Satoshi? If Satoshi Nakamoto had given it just one more decimal place, making 1 Bitcoin equal to 1 billion Satoshis, Bitcoin would have been metric friendly out of the box. We would have had perfect milli, micro, and nano divisions. The metric system, which is used by most nationals, is an internationally recognized decimalized system of measurement. It is in widespread use, and where it is adopted, it is the only or most common system of weight and measures. It is now known as the International System of Units, SI. It is used to measure everyday things such as the mass of a stack of flour, the height of a person, the speed of a car, and the volume of fuel in its tank. It is also used in science, industry, and trade. The first nation to adopt the metric system, a process called metrication, was France in the 1790s. In subsequent decades and centuries, most other nations adopted it in part or in full, with notable holdouts being Liberia, Myanmar, and the United States, which primarily uses US customary units. Therefore, maybe the failure to design for metric system friendliness is the best proof yet that Satoshi Nakamoto was an American.